Hey everybody, this is Elizabeth from Silvernest Homeschooling, mom of 4, and I am halfway through my homeschooling journey. We've been homeschooling for 12 years. 2 of my kids are now in college, and 2 of my kids are middle school and high school, and so this is what is left on my shelves after 12 years, and we have been going through them one by one, and we are on shelf 7. So we've already covered 1 through 6 if you want to go back and look at those. Just a homeschool mama, not trying to make a business, just trying to give you some information to help you with your own homeschool journey. If you like this, that would want to let me know what's been helpful. That way I can make things more specifically for you. That would be helpful to me because I just want to be useful and not, spend a lot of time doing stuff that isn't helpful. All right, here we are. This section here is kind of a mix of nonfiction. I'd say it's probably almost all nonfiction, and then some leftover stuff that got thrown here, and pretty much focused on history. So let's go through the ones that don't fit in this category, but just kind of got left on the shelf. And we have an older copy of All Dogs Go to Heaven. Found this for free somewhere, and I haven't read it, but it is what the movie is based on. So I'm curious to see if the movie is better or the book is better. I mean, it's not that great of a movie, but I'm so curious. And her name was Beth, so, had to kind of take her up. Also, Janet Oakes' Trouble in a Fur Coat. I have had one of my kids read this one, and just about 2 bears, and so they weren't super impressed. I love these old kind of 70s covers. Random Mystery, so the Mysterious Bender Bones. I haven't read this one myself, and I've encouraged my daughter to try it, but she was like, not really interested. So we'll see if this one lasts or if I'll get around to it myself. And this one, Owls in the Family, my daughter did read, and again, it was kind of iffy. So I'm not sure these will stay. I think I kept them because every now and then I just want to keep old things so that they don't get thrown away or damaged. But then I'm also like, I want people to be able to have copies of them who want to read them, that kind of thing. So always torn. All right, so what's left on here is mostly history, all different kinds of history. So let's see, we've got more of the Choose Your Own History Adventure that my daughter loves. My Life as a Samurai. She just finished this last time, and so she's read this multiple times, but just recently, and so I just grabbed some stuff and dumped them upstairs. So that's this one. They are one of her favorite series of all times. A little bit of pictures, simple solutions, but based on, there's like, I think I've done a couple videos showing huge piles of these. So also this series, The Royal Diaries, I've been picking these up here and there where I can because she's enjoyed this series as well. So we are going through world history this year. So she also read Isabel and the Lady Chiao Ku. I think that's how you pronounce it. I read this one as well because I hadn't heard of her life, and I found them very well written for the kind of formula fiction we were looking for to introduce a bunch of different time periods to her, and so I was inspired by that one as well. We have a couple of the Your Story Hours. They are basically pretend aunt and uncle are telling you stories, but they're all acted out by various characters, and they go through different historical and sometimes not historical, just sometimes inspirational stories. But I really like the one in Washington, and they told different stories I had never heard of before. So they like to listen to a lot of audio books and CDs. All right, then we also have the works of Victor Hugo, and one of my daughters was assigned Les Miserables last year, and so this was where she read that copy from. And we could have used it for world history with my child who's doing world history this year for high school, but she elected to not read any of those. They are kind of long. I've enjoyed some of them, but Pirates and Patriots of the Revolution, you can tell this one was well loved. We have used it a few times for our pirate section. This time they chose not to use it, but I really like how handwritten it feels, and like you're actual reading a manual from the time. It might even have belonged to my husband when he was young. So, all right, The Ides of April, Mary Ray. My daughter and I both read this. No, I didn't read this one. It's on my list, but my middle schooler who loves history did read this and found it really interesting with the mystery in the time period of Rome. This one. Okay, so over COVID, we decided to do a whole history unit on chocolate. For the entire year, we followed the story of chocolate, and that included Africa, South America, North America, the slave trade, cacao, of course, in all the ways. And this was our spine for that book series. And so the kids were like, no, don't get rid of it. So that is why it is still here. Not sure we will ever read it again, though the youngest was so young that she could easily add this to her world history for high school. So we'll see. This one was for my husband in college, A Brief History of Chinese and Japanese Civilizations. Has been offered to my children for their high school, but they've said no. Incans, Aztecs, and Mayans. We have read a little bit of this here and there. This is another one on House. Beautiful unabridged reprint of classic Victorian style book. And it has pictures and stuff. I was at one point, well, and maybe I will still, but I'm at one point wanted to do a lot of writing and be a writer. But instead I became a homeschool mama. And so this one is mostly for reference in case someone's interested in being more realistic in that time period. I've offered it to my kids before they flipped through it, but they've never really wanted to read it. The Book of the Sword. This one was my husband's. He's went all through this. My son has read some of it. Offered it to my daughter who loves middle ages, etc. And she's like, nah, I'm good. So, oops. Nope. We'll never know what that book was. Sorry, guys. Who knows? Women in Anglo, maybe I'll throw it on a different shelf and then we'll go through it when we hit that one. Women in Anglo-Saxon England, The Impact of 1066. Again, we've done a little bit of reading with this one, but not a whole bunch because there are other things to read instead. But again, if somebody was interested in doing, we have a couple of writers in the family, so if they're interested in doing research to make their stuff more accurate, this would be helpful. How the Irish Saved Civilization. And we have read some of this as well. Not all of it. We have my in-laws' father actually came from Ireland. And so we try to do some history based on where the various family members traveled from. And we've actually done a couple of history units based on how our family got to America and then went across to America and then tried to hang everything from history on things that are connected to us. And so for high school, one of the girls had this on her list. And not all of it, but just some of it, I think. I'd ask. Bullfinch Mythology, classic. My second oldest read most of this book. It says 3 of them, so she read all of The Age of Fable and The Age of Chivalry for her world history class. But I think it was, again, one of my husband's ones that he brought. And Augustus Caesar's World. We had a whole bunch of these Genevieve Fosters. I gave most of them away. I didn't realize the way that they're designed is so that you read the same things happening all around the world in the same time period. That sounded so fascinating. But the 2 kids that I was working with, it just got confusing for them. To jump back and forth. And so this one wasn't so bad because it was more focused. And I think one of the curriculums that we've used for world history does use this book. And so I kept it for that class, but I did end up giving away all the other ones. Plus they're written in a kind of simple style. So you think that the jumping back and forth wouldn't be a problem, but yeah, I don't know. I was disappointed. Can you tell? I was disappointed. I was really hoping. I went out. It's one of those mistakes. This is one of those things to remind you that when you get excited about a new idea or series, buy one. Try one. Don't buy the whole set. Don't go and spend all your time looking for resources and not using the ones you already have. That's the lesson of this one. And like this one, the lesson is what you already have in your stacks might be the perfect book. You may not need to go out and buy something new. And this one is when you're reading section and you want to have something new, maybe grab a new book. So I hope that was interesting. I hope that was helpful. That is what we have currently on shelf 7. And, again, I'm keeping these because we still have 2 more kids to finish up world history and American history in high school. After that, will we keep everything? I don't know. I guess we'll decide at that moment. Some of them we keep because I want them. Some of them we keep because my husband wants them. And some of them we keep because we might use them for the kids. So hope you're having a great day. Hope you're feeling inspired, or at least you can put me on in the background while you're trying to clean something, organize something. Don't spend all your money in one place. But a lot of these, like these I got for free. And these I bought. So we have that combination of finding free books in different little mini libraries. Or we have some giveaway stuff in our school that my kids are part of. a hybrid program. We're always dropping stuff off there. And that's one of the things that really inspires me too, is I can go, hey, you know what? I might not use this. How can I bless someone else? And I find the more I try to cling on to stuff, the more I get stressed about trying to keep things. The more that's an indication to me that it's time for me to give something away. So maybe I'll inspire myself. Maybe we'll decide that these are going to go be dropped off to those homeschool families. And yeah, we'll talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye.